So the field crops are well on their way to getting established, and we're now moving over to the next major wave of winter sowing, which are predominantly the Asians, Brassica Rapa. We've got a few things already on the tables that will be going into our next transplanting. The endives, the escarols, the chicories, radicchios and so forth are a little slow out of the blocks, so we like to get them started before most of the saladier crops that we put under protection for the most part, although hardier spinaches can go outside and the less hardy ones we put in the greenhouses and so forth. You can see, oh my goodness, look at that. This is a red leaf sorrel. It'll get much prettier as the weather gets colder. The greens will become greener and the reds will become a spectacularly sort of psychedelic purple. It just lends an incredible splash to a winter salad. Most of these things here will be going undercover. I'm hoping to get a very basic greenhouse up in the next week or so. It's not a very impressive farming scene at all, but at the homestead level it's looking relatively solid. So one of the things we learn as we move into addressing the reality of resilience in the face of climate change is abstractions and ideas and concepts tend to fall away. So you move towards what's real, what's actually going to work. What we find is that our cropping strategies, for example, make a complete nonsense of the sort of infantile principles and sensibilities of global geopolitics, for example. As we've begun to develop resilient winter cropping systems in our bioregion, for example, what we are working towards are these fundamental syntheses of European and Asian cropping cultures. Most of the seeds on this table, most of these flats, are filled full of East Asian populations and cultivars. These are the bedrock, essentially, of our greenhouse and cloched, that's to say, protected crops through the winter. Incredibly vigorous, incredibly nutritious, and oh, spectacularly beautiful. We'll be keeping updates on that going as the seasons proceed. But yeah, one typically finds as one moves towards integral cropping systems, that's to say ones that are synergistically based, that mixing and marrying global cultures at a fundamental biotic level, both in terms of genetics and in terms of cultural techniques, becomes a mainstay, no-nonsense tactic for keeping us fed and for keeping local cultures solid, resilient, healthy and ongoing.